Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to the 2025 GT3 Championship. It's season number 1, it's round number 3. It's a trip to South Africa with myself, John Wright, aka Double O Raven, and joining me once again, the magic man Madden himself. It is Flawed Genius Game, and hopefully he's recovered enough from the late comeback by the mighty Arsenal. We'll see how he gets on this evening. How are we doing, Sean?
Oh, he just had to mention it, didn't he? Jeez. Oh dear, oh dear. Getting up to an amazing start. Thank you very much, John.
You're absolutely welcome, Sean. Funnily enough, I did have one of them pre-broadcast as well. It's got to be done, but we'll be here tonight for round number 3 of the QRT's GT3 Championship. GT3 Championship 2025 season number 1. The pros, the arms and the silvers will be out on, spoiler alert, a soggy Kyalami. Absolutely love to see it, and we had an absolute cracker last week at Suzuka, and Sean, I'm sure, looking back and looking forward, let's go QRT once again.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, quite a number of surprises. I mean, I mention that every week. But yeah, interesting point was at Suzuka last time out, only 2 out of the 9 podiums from round 1 with the success penalties applied for Suzuka finished with a second successive podium. So on to the pro drivers. Yes, it was David Granz that grabbed his first win of the season in his trusty Honda NSX car. It was Ed Sterling that was one of the 2 drivers that recorded back-to-back podiums. He grabbed a P2 in that Ford Mustang of his, and P3 went to Marcus Schoberg. So happy for him, and confirming that Honda dominance in the podium positions, finishing in P3. Damien Konzik got the fastest lap time. He may have been out of the headlines, not grabbing, a podium or a race victory, but he did grab the fastest lap time in his trusty Ford Mustang with a 1 minute 58.820. In the silver drivers, we had a new winner in Ben Sullivan in his Aston Martin car. Adam Ostrichas, I hope I said that right, in his BMW grabbed P2. And it was Florian Lacroix, the second of the 2 drivers to record back-to-back podiums. He finished in P3 with also the fastest lap time of a 1 minute 59.982. He grabbed P2 in the first round. Into the amateur class, and that meant we had 3 new amateur podiums. It was Darren Putman who grabbed his first victory of the season in his Ferrari, with Anthony Victor Chappelle in the car number 873 in the Lexus recording P2, and then Dan Ramirez in his trusty Ferrari grabbed the last step on the podium. So all types of surprises on show at Suzuka, but how has that reflected in the league standings, John?
Yeah, indeed, some phenomenal stats there on the return podium sitters, but certainly it's made it all to play for, as you would expect. In the pros, Konzig 6 points ahead of Gran, with Sterling only 2 points behind. They've got themselves a decent gap back to Van der Hoek in 4th, and Marcus Schoberg, no stranger to the podium, finds himself in 5th position. Arnaud Delazeus 6th and 7th in the opening 2 rounds. See him with 53 points in 6th, with Villette, Payne, Gibson and Choi rounding out the pro top 10 in the silver split. There we go. It is Florian Lacroix with the 2nd and 3rd, one of the most consistent drivers in the whole championship. 87 points and a 4-point gap back to Ben Sullivan. These drivers already carving themselves out a decent gap back to 3rd place, which is Scarpass in the Audi. phenomenal seeing the Silvers. 2 Aston Martins, an Audi, a Lexus and a Lambo in the top 5. Danny McCutcheon with the wheel of the Lexus. Mike Wilson behind the wheel of the Lamborghini. Borwick, Loon and Ostrishars all find themselves inside the top 8, with Flint and Bisteri rounding out the silver top 10. Off to the arms we go, and it's Darren Putman with the lead. He's had a trip to the podium and it was the top spot. A good tally so far in the season, 86 points. Christian Booth in second place on 80, only 6 ahead of Chappelle, with a 4-point gap back to Salevich. It's definitely very easy to say that Arm Split is the closest one we have. They've only got a 7-point gap back to Ramirez, who's shown a good run of form, 7th and then 3rd. That is trending upwards, I believe they would say these days. Senelaf and Zeduc 6th and 7th. And it is Kyalami that was Suzuka last week, and it is Kyalami this week. And as I said, it is absolutely teeming down with rain. I'm trying to think of a word we could use at this time of night. But Sean, it is without doubt, whether it come rain or shine, day or night, this is a track that you cannot help but love, whether you're a spectator or a driver.
Oh, 100%, John. Yes, Kyalami. It's great to see it. I've not ever seen it in the rain though, John, so it's going to be certainly tricky conditions for the drivers out there. But a few facts about Kyalami. So it's 16 turns overall, 10 to the left and 6 to the right. Makes up a track length of 4.5 kilometres or 2.8 miles in length, and it's one of the highest track elevation circuits on the calendar. A remarkable 6,000 foot above sea level, with a track elevation of 80 meters. So certainly a lot of the cars that tends to kind of struggle down the straights are really going to struggle, I think, in this high altitude. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the drivers get on in what is very, very tricky conditions, John.
Incredibly tricky conditions here. We just got a close-up look of that sausage curve. Oh yes, it's called Cheetah. Why? Because it's always waiting to pounce. We will see. No curse to the commentator, and apologies in advance to anyone that is going to do it during the race, but we will see someone, at least one person, hit that sausage curve and end up violently into the wall on the other side. This is the way. It is Kyalami, as Sean said, 2.8 miles long, absolute tarmac perfection. It's much like Imola, in as much as it was saved multiple times by the local authorities after threats of closure. The original track in '61, it was actually built on the other side of the hill. Thankfully, they did the rebuild back in '88. When I was a lot older than I care to admit to, and they specifically had the spectators in mind, in perfect timing, because there's Marcus Schober going past the highest part of the track, and there is that grandstand. You can see the entirety of the track from that seating position, and it is one of the most remarkable tracks on the planet for drivers and spectators, and an absolute pleasure to be watching the drivers apply their talents in the wet. It's safe to say they can absolutely put laps down in the dry, and it's always great to see the drivers really be able to absolutely nail these laps, lap after lap. But let's get a bit of precipitation on the track, and there we go. Wow! Even during qualifying, that is quite some save. Yeah, beautifully highlighting, Sean. I mean, it's just one of these courses. You have to love it, but you know that at absolutely any point in time, on any corner, the Shadow Realm awaits with open arms.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, them curves are definitely very, very troublesome, but you add the rain to it, and it becomes all kinds of nightmares for the drivers, as witnessed just now. So good luck to the drivers, John. That is what I say.
Indeed, yeah. Best of luck to the drivers. Best of luck keeping up with turn one. We'll get into that one in a minute because much like Suzuka, I think this flies under the radar as a difficult turn one. Now, can I read that out at this time of night? Oh, you slap! Damn, I like to do that. Oh, yeah. Good evening. Thank you for jumping in the chat. We've got Moose. Moose, it is a little bit wet out. Ooh, and that's what happens when you miss your brakes. And oh no, sorry, that's one of the pros finishing his lap. I think there might be a slight bit of frustration there. And he's popped into the wall. The pros have done with qualifying. We'll catch up with that in a moment. It's only the pros. We'll get these drivers out on track. And Harry, rain reducing in 10 minutes. Could this bump some ARM drivers into the mix? Oh, Harry, now that's a very good point, sir. Very good point, sir. Joran in the chat as well. The quali weather is looking favourable for us ARMs. Yep, Joran. I should have read your message out first because it did come in first. Freelancer Tech. Sorry for that piece of footage. I am absolutely not happy with my laps. I got something right. I was absolutely spot on as to why the car flew into the wall. Been there, done that. As long as no one else was harmed in the incident, park your car on the wall. Just be careful and hold on to the steering wheel so you don't end up with a dodgy thumb. Mrs. Emily, good evening. Welcome in, welcome in. It's round number 3. It's Kyalami in the rain. Could I be any more excited right now? Probably not, Moose. It happens to everyone, bruv. Indeed it does. I hope this is wet because I've only prepped for wet. Dun, dun, dun. That can sometimes be your saving grace. It can sometimes bite you in the Wellington boots. Let's get a confirmation of the qualifying for the 16 pros we have out this evening. And it is David Gran with the mighty NSX taking the top spot and 2 whole purple sectors all to himself. That is not too shabby. Konzig in second place. Has he ever qualified outside the front 2 rows? No. He's in second place with God Denap starting in third. What a front 2 rows this is. And De La Zeus had a phenomenal season last time out. Outside the top 5 in the opening round. He's inside the top 4 for qualifying here. Although, does qualifying even count for anything when it's wet at Kyalami? Probably not. Marcus Schober, he's in a faster car in a straight line than the Porsche, and he's in 5th place with Sterling. Last week, such a phenomenal race from him last week in 6th. Williams in 7th. I was about to make reference to an incident, but that happened in the Sunday series, so we'll crack on. Villette in 9th at Athenstad. Let's go. He's in 9th place with Glenn Choi in 10th. Christophe Papai in 11th with Barbary in 11th, and Mark Davis in 13th position for the pros. Declan Brogan, he's back. He's in the Lambo. He's in 17th place at the minute with Zhuwig just behind him, and there is Mark Gibson in the Mustang. He was doing a bit of panel beating after qualifying. He's currently 19th place. So that puts him 16th in the pros. As we can see, the Silvers already making hay while the sun doesn't shine, but the rain does reduce. And we can see if I can make this work. Excellent. That's Barbary in the pros. LaCroix at 14th place. He's done a decent season, I'll tell you what. He's aiming for a top 10. Here we go. That time-honoured tradition, Sean, in QRT. Silver's in the top 10, Arms in the top 20, and incredible races from them all.
Yeah, quite interestingly, we've already got 3 of the silver drivers already, mixing it up with the pro category drivers. And interestingly, John, I'm looking at the track temperature. 27 degrees is quite warm considering it's a bit of a downpour out there. And with the track set to dry in the next 10 minutes, you could be right, or Harry could be right, should I say, in the fact that the amateur drivers could mix it up with the pros and maybe even, podiums. Who knows?
Indeed, yeah, that's a good point. With it being so what, and the track temperature has just increased. It is, I can confirm actually, when I was about 15 years old, I was on holiday in the States. We went to Palm Springs as part of a driving caravan and type holiday thing, and we went to Palm Springs. It was 105 degrees. It started raining, the temperature dropped to 102 and the rain evaporated as soon as it was hitting the ground. It was just absolutely incredible. And in places like South Africa, especially here at this track, as Sean mentioned, 6,000 feet above elevation, above sea level. That is a whole lot of it. And to tell you that Aston Martins are going to be one of the cars when you get to the top there of Le Coupe. It certainly does make a bit of a difference, that is for sure. And it's actually the only reason why there is no crossplay between PC and platform, because between PC and console, because console don't have air pressure in the game. That is the only difference. So there we go, another dull and uninteresting fact brought to you by Double O Raven. David Grant in the chat, happy with that. I would be happy with that. Never mind just taking pole position, but 2/10 quicker than Konzig. That in itself is quite the feat. I really do hold his driving ability in unbelievably high regard. Is there a pleb level driver? Just seeing where to sign up, says Moose. Moose, we have Pro Silver, and you're definitely not pleb. If you're pleb level, then it's a good thing I commentate. Jordan said, join me in the arms. I'm the most average driver. No Jordan's again. Challenge accepted. Doesn't have a PC. Don't race on PC. You should. You absolutely should. And if you're going to race on PC, that is the link to click to make sure you get involved with the best racing out there. If you don't believe me, just wait till the end of this one. You will be a convert. That is the host page for QRT Esports. Get on there. You'll get the link to the Discord and YouTube, where everything is beautifully back catalogued. But yeah, get yourself signed up to the. Your timing is absolutely impeccable, Harry. There is no denying that, my man. I was thinking about cracking a joke about it's just a pity you can't set times around the track after the Lambo. But listen, all hail you for getting involved. It was a good showing. It was a good showing. But yeah, get yourself signed up. Harry's going to be sending me absolute daggers. Yes. I know, Harry. You know what? I actually do feel terrible about that. I do feel bad. At least you're out there driving, mate, right? At least you are out there driving. I sit here in my big comfy chair with my headset on and, yeah, cast aspersions on people far more talented than I. Hiding behind a little microphone. But yeah, get yourself signed up to QRT Esports. Multiple events on. We've got the QRT Wild Things Racing crossover event, multi-class, and I do mean multi-class. GT4s, Porsche Cup cars, and GT3s. That takes place on a Sunday night. We've got round 3 coming up this very Sunday, and of course, the absolute bastion of sim racing, that is the Thursday night series from QRT. We absolutely love it. Of course, they brought the Success Ballast over as well. Why wouldn't you? But we'll get some more cars on screen in a moment, but this is just not working for me tonight. So we will mention the race itself. It's going to be a 1 hour race that the drivers will be taking part in again. And of course, if you do well here, you are punished. All the drivers that finished first last week in the 3 classes will get a 20-second penalty. They will serve that during their mandatory pit stop, of course. So a bit of a stop-go before the engineers can start changing the tyres as per mandatory requirements and popping in that 1 litre of fuel, or half a tank of fuel. That doesn't really make a difference. We've got second place, we'll get 15 seconds, and third place will receive a 10-second penalty again to serve during that mandatory pit stop. It really does, wow, well held in the Audi. It really does make for some phenomenal races. And Sean, you've absolutely got to love the Success Ballast. It's just an incredible way of keeping the series absolutely, I mean, it's already knife edge between the drivers, but that just adds that extra little bit that really does keep it spicy. And we've seen some incredible comebacks from drivers with that 20-second penalty, making their way back on the podium already this season. We're only 2 races in.
Oh yes, 100%, John. I will definitely comment on that. There was one thing I just noticed though in qualifying, John. A particular silver driver in the top 3 overall. Can you guess? Oh well, you can see it now.
Yeah, LaCroix. I was on, you know, that's what, yeah, I was that invested in everything else that was going on. I didn't even notice Florian LaCroix. My apologies for not picking that one up. Wow. And
incredible.
Congratulations to Sean, who did call potential podium spots for some of the lower classes, and that is a cracker. 3 of them in the top 10.
Crazy,
4 in the
crazy.
top 12, 5 in the top 15, and 7 in the top 20.
But this is the interesting point, though, John, is what tyres are the drivers using at the moment? I would imagine the pro drivers would have been using the wets. Is it getting to that stage where the slicks is the better of the tyres? I'm not 100% sure there. I mean, it still looks quite wet out there, but it certainly seems like the track is evolving and getting that little bit drier.
Indeed, yeah, and as you see, yeah, 28-degree track temperature. Yeah, it's going to dry very quickly for the arms, so tyre choice will be all critical. Nick Brownings, he is in the wild cards. The red squares are for armed drivers, exception being the drivers with any car numbered above 990. Those are wild cards, so don't be surprised if we see Nick here take pole position.
Yes,
yeah, Lavoy as well. Lavoy could pop that Porsche onto pole given the changing conditions. Let's see. Wet tyres. Yep, so out on the wet tyres. We'll see how it plays out, but we'll have a look at the silver qualifying. And again, LaCroix, what a drive. Borwick in second, Sullivan in third. Fairweather fourth, with Scappas in fifth. It's then McCutcheon in sixth. And rounding out the top 10, Perry, Basteri, Haugstad and Flint, the top 23. Yeah, all ahead of some pretty good drivers. Wow. Absolutely nothing's working for me this evening. Excellent. I was also having a giggle at what was going on in the chat. We've got Stratos saying, good evening, good evening, good evening. Sub below and flawed. What was it? Yeah, the rain brought you out, bro. Needed my yearly Barset boost. You've got to love it. Well, I'll tell you what, you'll get yourself a decent shower out here. We could do each other. Yes, indeed you could. Get a PC, get involved. It is a very good place to come racing. Lavoy pops that into the top 20 as Chappelle getting fired up to take his first flying lap. Oh no, sorry, there we go, Putman. Oh no, so that's not Chappelle's flying lap, sorry. We are already 4 minutes in and Chappelle is overtaken by Booth. Here we go, top 25, Christian Booth pops the Aston Martins are doing well. Yeah,
yes, indeed. You did call it, John. The Aston Martins with the supreme straight line top speed in the high altitude. That is Kyalami. Yeah, certainly the Aston's proving to be pretty strong so far, John. But yeah, they're certainly starting to mix it up with the silvers and a few of the pros. So good start to the amateur drivers qualifying, but still got 5 minutes to go, John. So could be a few movers and shakers in this final part of qualifying.
Yeah, they really could. Yeah, so far it's Booth on the top spot. Ramirez pops himself fourth, just ahead of Salevic, who's currently 33rd. We've got 35 drivers braving the conditions this evening. And no, I'm not even going to crack a joke about ACC Evo, even though it's been a bit of a disaster. Yeah, honestly, computer game manufacturers, please, 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 if you're going to launch a game, could you make sure it works? Thank you. Brownings comes past the final two corners, has a bit of a wiggle. That Ferrari does look very, very good in that livery in the rain, it has to be said. We're at 2:25 PM. Let's see where Brownings goes. I do think he is going to be quick. There we go. Top 6 for the wild card. There is another tradition here at QRT for wild cards to do incredibly well during the races also. Lavoy, another wild card we saw, do great things last week until an incident. Can't remember if it was a disconnect or a connection or a crash, but I'm sure Lavoy ended up slightly down the order on where we were expecting. Is looking to improve on the time at the moment. We'll check with the rest, with the arms. There is Darren Putman, and in fact none of the arms making an improvement on their time at the minute, Sean. So I think Could it be a double-edged sword? The conditions change in the way they are. As you were saying, you were questioning whether you would be out on wets or dries right now. Maybe they're just, yeah, struggling with the tyres because, yeah, they're really struggling to get times in at the minute.
Yes, indeed. Well, I did notice Christian Booth just going a little bit quicker than Lavoie, but not the promised land that I was expecting. But yeah, he's 1 second off the pace from the fastest lap time, which is no easy feat for the amateur driver. Actually, very impressive, I have to say, still. But yeah. I mean, the track evolving right now, damp conditions it is, as opposed to the wet conditions we had about 5 minutes earlier. So yeah, the track definitely getting into that sort of window where it's hard to decide whether you use the slick tyres or the wet tyres. Of course, the slicks will be a lot faster than the wet tyres, that is for sure. But is there enough time to quickly make a change and see if they can go quicker, John?
I mean, at this point, it's going to be touch and go. You need to cross the line to start your flying laps before the timer hits 0. So they'll have theoretically, I think for the next 10, literally the next 10 seconds, if they're out the pits, they should be able to get round. Yeah, they should be able to get round and start a lap. They're going to have to be absolutely on it. Absolutely on it. Yeah, apologies to Christian Booth. That's 2 Aston Martins I've completely missed there. I was talking about the arms not being on the set of time, and Booth back out. He gets himself into the top 10. Absolutely phenomenal. And Sean did call it as well. Yep, Harry's putting that in the chat. Prediction accurate. Seeing arms up in the top 10. And Booth definitely capable of going quicker again. And I'll tell you what, Lavoie. Oh wow, Lavoie in the Poors has just lost a couple of tenths, but is still half a second up down the mine shaft. And if we jump onto the front right wing, still on the wet tyres, where the rain has stopped.
Wow,
oh, the Poors almost did. Lavoie dragging it round. Third to last. Completely avoiding that sausage curb. Oh wow, here we go. Oh, could it be? This is going to be very, very, very close, right up at the top of the grid. Let's see what the wildcard Porsche can do. Oh, the timing board goes down. Oh, Lavoie drops a 10th out the last corner that could have seen a second row, but got another chance at glory. So the 2 wildcards making it into the top 7, and Lavoie looking to improve even further. Booth at 14th place, no improvement for him at the moment, although Salevic's looking to make big jumps, and here he goes. This is going to be a move. Jorans calling himself average in the chat, 15th place.
Nice.
Let's go the arms.
And yeah, potentially one more lap for the drivers as well. So maybe some possible improvements. But yeah, just looking at the track though, John, there is a few nasty puddles out on circuit, and one in particular that looks nasty is at turn number 15, the Cheetah, of course, with the big sausage curb on the inside. So that is where it's proving to be particularly tricky for the drivers, as Dan Ramirez moves himself up into the top 25 and third place for the amateur drivers as well. So great last-ditch effort from Ramirez.
Yeah, that was a good one. 0.6 of a second or so he found there. That's quite the running. Although Chappelle... Oh, Anthony, just as we jumped on board there, lost half a second.
Oh, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, but it's still up. That's the thing that's going to make it hurt even more. Now, yeah, lost half a second there. Where... Oh, now I tell you what as well, that would have put him on. Right, okay, do I jinx this? Right, who called an arm? Who called arms in the top 10? Because I tell you what, even with losing that half a second, Chappelle is on a charge in the Lexus, takes that curve absolutely beautifully, don't hit the sausage. Oh, what a save! And he's not lost any time at all, comes down the last corner, oh, slightly early on the brakes. What an exit, I'll tell you what. Oh, Sean, you should be the most gutted person in the world. Because I tell you what, half a second he lost. That was almost pole position for Chappelle at the death. Says, yeah, 15th and 16th, fellow Arms. I'm going for the top 10. 12th place. What a drive by the amateur driver there, Sean. Love to see it.
Oh, incredible stuff, incredible stuff. Yes, yeah, a little bit gutted that he wasn't in the top 10 or even, pole position, but pole position for the amateurs, which is probably the most important thing, as much as it is great to be pole position overall. But yeah, incredible stuff there, right on the limit there. I mean, an inch over to the left, and that would have been a lap invalidated for him, and definitely well held as well. But yeah, what could have been, eh, John?
Indeed, yeah. I'll bet his heart was absolutely pounding out his chest there. For some reason, we've got that glitch in the game where I cannot show the actual standings for the start, I'm afraid. But we can see the order there. I've got to say a run through. In fact, yeah, let's do this now while they're stationary so we don't have to listen to the squealing brakes.
But one thing that I can update you on is obviously the success penalties applied to the drivers. So for those that don't know, the top 3 drivers do have success penalties applied to them for the race. So it will be David Granz that has the 20 seconds applied to him, with 15 seconds going to Ed Sterling and 10 seconds going to Marcus Schoberg in the pro category. Silver's Ben Sullivan will get the 20 seconds applied to him. Adam Ostrichas, have we got him here?
Yes.
He is, right, okay. Yes, he will have the 15 seconds. Florian Lacroix will get the 10 seconds. And then in the amateurs, we've got Darren Putman with 20 seconds, Anthony Victor Chappelle with the 15 seconds, and Dan Ramirez with the 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's how much longer the drivers will spend in the pits during their mandatory required stop. During the stop, they'll also swap tyres and take on some fuel. The amount of fuel is entirely at the driver's discretion. It will make absolutely no difference whatsoever, the amount of fuel that they take on. It won't make any difference to the length of the pit stop itself. It is the tyre change that takes the longest part. So we could see drivers, especially in these conditions, coming at the end of lap 1, take on a litre of fuel and absolutely ham it. They come in at halfway, take on half a tank of fuel to keep the average weight of the car down, and go for 50-50. The good of a tank full of fuel right now. Go for the long game, the monster overcut, and take on 1 litre of fuel on the last lap. It has been done. So it'll be interesting to see the makeup of those strategies. Beautiful to see the grid, beautiful to see the rain falling down. 2.8 miles for the drivers to make their way around. And we're using the pit skill bop and Sean as just a motor racing fan in general, never mind commentators and broadcasters. The mix of cars on the grid is absolutely glorious to see after we've gone through so long of having meta cars that were just flooding the grid. This is incredible.
Yes, indeed, John. Yeah, last week we had the Honda NSXs dominating in the pro category. Certainly the Ford Mustang is always a big shout in terms of performance, but yeah, as you said, John, Ferraris, McLarens was the meta cars. It's great to see that now we've got Audis in the mix, we've got Lexuses, we've got Astons, Porsches as well, as well as your usual BMWs. So yeah, it really is great to see. And well, we know anything is possible in the rain, and anything is possible at Kyalami. So really looking forward to seeing how this gets on, and we're hoping for a clean first lap, which didn't happen last time out, did it, at Suzuka, John?
No, yeah, that brings me beautifully onto where I was about to go as well, because yeah, the turn 1 at Suzuka in Sector 1 last week, it was a tricky one car sideways, and it is absolutely game over, and it could easily be the same here at Kyalami. Turn 1, I think, flies under the radar. Monza gets a hard time. When you have a proper look, that's showing that. Sorry, when you actually have a proper look, this is absolutely one of the trickiest. You can easily go 5 wide on the way in. You're getting no more than 2 wide, and even 2 wide on the way out up the Juckside sweep. Yeah, no, shivering. Just shivering at the very thought of it. But the drivers, I'm sure, will be looking to have a clean one here. Of course, it's going to be very tricky for them on the brakes. That is the view from the front of David Grant's car. You can see all these little rivers and then puddles going across. Not quite as bad as the penultimate corner at Paul Ricard. That is, what a ridiculously placed puddle that is. They really need to sort that one out. I'll tell you what, I might even go out there myself again. Another puddle for the drivers. We've already seen Watkins Glen and Suzuka. We've got Imola, Bathurst and Silverstone still on the calendar. But tonight, the drivers will be firmly focused on the Crocodile, the Cheetah, and first off, of course, it's Crowthorne. It's round number 3 of the GT3 Championship 2025 Season 1. It's green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, it's flying into turn number 1 for the front 2 drivers. I'll tell you, David Grant's taking an early defensive move. You can see an almost dry line on the track. You can see LaCroix going full defensive. Denard goes for a big swing round the outside. The Porsche has just slightly missed the brakes. The leader's been turned after a concertina effect, and he's sideways in turn number 1. That's Chandler Williams who's been caught out, and that is the absolute epitome of sportsmanship there. Took pole position, race leader, spun in turn 1, and he's held his brakes until every single car has safely made their way through. Absolute kudos to you, sir. We've got a phenomenal battle going on down at Barbecue. We'll get back there if we can. Look at this, 4 wide on the way, 3 wide, sorry, on the way out. Grant already looking to make a quick overtake as Damien Konzig cannot believe his luck. Lavoie up to 2nd place with LaCroix holding on to 3rd. Borowick finds his way up to 4th place, jumping 5 spots, avoiding the chaos that at the start there. De La Zeus down a position there. David Grant, Marcus Schoberg as well finds himself down the order. Rainier Athenstad down, and Thiago Denart. So Williams made it through, but his teammate Denart not quite so lucky. Down from 4th place to 34th in the opening exchanges. Salevic's losing a couple of positions in the early exchanges as well, but Lorenzo Barbary making hay while the sun doesn't shine, making his way up 11 positions. One of the biggest movers so far. In fact, Houtstad with 12 spots not far behind him. Glenn Choi getting himself involved in some all-out action, whether he likes it or not, as Davies is under the watchful eye. Oh, and that is Declan Brogan just touching the sausage curb. Concertina behind, and it looks like we've got a car in the pits, and it looks like some turn 1 cars. Yep, there they are. Christophe Papai in the Aston Martin. He's got his teammate Wilson not far ahead of him in the Lamborghini. Salevich coming into the pits for an early stop. Daniel Putman going past Houtstad. Oh, he's had a bit of a wiggle on the brakes there. Bravely done. Damien Konzig and Florian Lacroix now up to 2nd place. What a start that was. Let's get another quick look at the opening lap on the way into turn number 1. We're on board with Lavoie. Tries to go up the inside, puts the foot on the brake just a little bit later, and yeah, taps Konzig, who then taps the Honda, and it is the race leader that suffers that one there. Lacroix, sorry, not Lacroix, the Porsche of Lavoie involved in a later incident. Not this one. Oh, that's one of the turn one cars. There's Martin Davies behind as well. We're on board yet. Christophe Papai. So 3 became 2. Oh, and a concertina effect there. Oh, and you can just see them bunching up, and it's team on team action there. Davis doesn't see the Honda going round the outside as the Mercedes pulls in. That is a lap one at Kyalami, Sean.
Yes, indeed, and I think the the curse of the success penalty position drivers has happened again, where got involved in a bit of a tangle at turn 1, and you can see that. For the pro category, that is, that they're having to make early pit stops and race from the back, really. So yeah, very unlucky from David Kranz, but yeah, I mean, at this very early stage, he'll be knuckling down and hoping he can get back into the race. But yeah, it's crazy out there, John. These wet conditions causing all types of havoc for the drivers. It must be very, very difficult visibility-wise, and certainly keeping the car in a straight line. So the drivers will be hoping it improves, but certainly for us, John, very exciting.
Indeed it is, yeah. Just on board with Max Davis in the BMW. He's been at the wrong place at the wrong time, a couple of spots in time, and yeah, he comes out the corner and there is an 87 car pilot, although he does phenomenally well to make his way through there. There's actually minimal contact there for Davis, so yeah, hats off actually for that one. That wasn't the contact I thought we were watching, but yeah, Davis, yeah, up to 13th position in fact. So you've got another runner and rider falling by the wayside. Scottish in the chat. That's, yeah, just no. Come on now, you've got to be racing every race. Let's go. It's Kyalami. How could you not race Kyalami? Oh, and we've got De La Zue. Oh, Jakob Borowitz finds himself off track, and that is QRT Ferrari as well, dropping down the order. Let's see. Borowitz. Oh, so there was a yellow flag and then the accident. So that's just on the exit to La Coupe, making his way back down the 80 feet of elevation. Full speed left-hander. Oh, in the back of that car is a... Oh no!
Oh!
From way downtown there, that is the wild card.
Oh dear.
Whose name I absolutely... Who's in the wild card again tonight? 992.
Yeah, so Brownix...
oh, Brownix, that's the one.
Yep, yep.
Yes, so Browning's there, completely missed his brakes. Well, I'll tell you what, Marcus Schoberg's not missing many apexes. He's made back a few positions already, that is for sure. Just ahead of him, oh, Max Davis making contact with Christian Booth there, but Davis does go around the outside. The Audi in the background there, Scarpa's losing a bit of pace then. There's going to be a couple of cars make their way through there. Schoberg involved. That's Declan Brogan in the Lamborghini. He's up to 5th position at the minute. And in fact, that's about to change again, I believe, because he's got the Audi now down behind him as he comes out of the S's. Heading up the hill. So he is chasing Schoberg, who's down 6 overall, but he's made back 6 since the start. We've got Florian Lacroix still leading the way in the silvers, and it is now Anthony Victor Chappelle. Oh, sorry, still Anthony Victor Chappelle, yeah, but he's now well inside the top 10, Sean. 6th position for the ARM leader. That is a dream start, and he's... Oh, that's a big O.
Yeah, driver in the background just spinning off, John. I couldn't see because it was that far in the background, but he had a spinner.
Just come up Schoberg and Putman there. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, let's see if it's one of these. The highlight software has picked this one up. He's looking for a move up the inside, no room at the end. They've made double contact, so I'm not quite sure that was the spinner that Sean saw. Oh no,
Yeah.
this is the same one again, my apologies. But yeah, tricky conditions, Sean. I mean, the back of the car can go at literally any point in time.
It looked like it was at the Crocodiles, but yeah, it was literally a long shot of it, so it was very hard to see exactly who it was and what car it was. But yeah, a strange one then. But it definitely went deep and spun out as well on the AstroTurf on the side of the circuit. So. Yeah, maybe it'll come to fruition a bit later on, John.
Yeah, we'll see how the race develops for that one. LaCroix 3 seconds behind and 3 seconds ahead. That's a good place to be in the early stages. Lavoy in 4th place, but it is Damien Konzig. He has got no success penalty, and yeah, Sean pointing out making a very good point there. It almost does seem like the curse of the success ballast. You start a race with success ballast and end up having to make your way back through the field. Grand back up to 20th position actually, within striking distance. So let's jump back down there and see how the fastest driver in qualifying is getting on. Of course, down 19 places on the start, and he is in a solid concertina. And I bet you if you'd asked Mark Gibson at the start of the race if he thought he would be challenging David Grant's for position after a couple of laps, he would have seriously questioned that. Grant down 19, Gibson up 13. So the two pros meeting almost in the middle of the pack at the moment. They've got Christophe Papai. One of the few drivers that's actually held on to the position he started in. Still in 22nd place for Papai. In fact, he's back up there. Haugstad and Flint, the other two drivers. Wow, that's well done on that inside curb there by Gibson. Some brave manoeuvring, and Mysteri, in fact, Papai's teammate, he's coming under pressure from Thiago Denart, another driver, on a monster comeback effort. He's made back 12 places. He's in 24th. He's going for it up the inside. He is not hanging about. Denart, nicely done. Is he ahead? Can't see for. Oh yes, he is. In fact, yeah, the Lambo carrying damage. So Denart and Mysteri both carrying a bit of damage. So no surprise Denart came out on top there pretty quickly. Gibson is absolutely sandwiched, and we've got. Oh, Glenn Choi is off track in the number 33. Let's just jump this back and see if we can see what happened. So here is Choi in the Ferrari, chasing down Putman in his Ferrari. Oh, no, that did not look. Oh no, so he's all fine up there.
Oh, that was from downtown. Was never making that corner, unfortunately, John. Very lucky to not spin out on the slippery AstroTurf, but yeah, no, not too much hard done by really, apart from the odd position or two.
Indeed, yeah, that could have been a whole lot worse. Ben Sullivan has caught up to Lavoy. He's in 5th position. Another good opening by Sullivan. He's made up 6 spots. Barbary, though, up 17 positions. See, I told you, qualifying is vanity. Finishing position in the race is sanity. Barbary, 17 spots up and on the pro podium. But behind, I'm leader. Anthony Victor Chappelle, who's made it up 6. What is the bigger effort, do we think? What is the most impressive? Chappelle in the arms, up 6 places to 6th, or Barbary up in the pros, up 17 places on the start. It's not too bad. Brownings and Borwicks are battling away with Davis not far behind. He's got Craig Fairweather firmly in tow. Then it is Christian Booth 2nd in the arms. And in fact, it's just been overtaken by Marcus Schoberg, who's down 4 positions where he started after a tough start. So made back quite a few spots. Declan Brogan having a good start to the race as well. Another pro driver up 17 places. With Mike Wilson, in fact, up 15. So the pros are really going for it. Sorry, yeah, of course, yeah, Wilson is in the silvers. But he's got a pro directly behind him. Gibson right on the rear tailpipe. Oh no, in fact, never mind that. Denart, that's because Denart's just got the overtake done. But no, sorry, they've just swapped back places again. Yeah, so on the yeah, Gibson did get himself ahead of Denart, and then they've swapped places once again. So the two pros swapping places in the rain. Konzik out in front for this race too. Oh, he is just, and yeah, as Ari says, the absolute animal. Just Sean, there isn't enough superlatives to describe the type of driver that Konzik is. He is as clean and fair as he is quick. Like, you've got to mention the gentleman side as well. We've seen him interacting with blue flags and taking a lap and a half to get past them so as not to do anything. If you can't get past, you can't get past. His strategies are always on point as well, and if you're looking for a driver to make a comeback after a tough start, look no further as well. He really is, annoyingly, it's the full package.
Yeah, he's an absolute class act, Konzik, and this is why we were saying last week that we was so surprised not to see him in the podium slots, because we're used to him winning. Yes, he did have the success penalty applied to him, of course, but normally that doesn't faze him. But yeah, he's got it all, as you said, John. He's supremely fast, but also, you know, absolute exemplary gentleman conduct, and yeah, he's an absolute inspiration to anyone that's looking to improve and get into the competitive scene on ACC. And yeah, he's one of the top drivers in the world as well. So yeah, he's absolutely a true force of nature, I think, John.
Exactly what I was just thinking. Yeah, spot on. He genuinely is an absolute force of nature. Getting back to some of the overtaking action, we're going to cover as much of it as we can. Best of luck with that, chaps. Perry, oh, the 3-4 turn 1 cars right on top of one another. I think Ed Sterling might be in there as well, actually putting a lap up on some of these drivers, given the tough start. In fact, where is Sterling? Yes, he is. Oh no, in fact, no, he's genuinely involved in this battle. He's just taken a position from his teammate. Oh, he's down. Of course, he was involved in an early accident as well. Chandler Williams is still right down the field. Salevics has taken his pit stop, but he's still ahead of Athenstad. We've seen 3 cars coming to the pits. Oh, we've got a big yellow flag. Mike Wilson. Double yellow flag for Wilson. Let's have a look and see what's going on here. This is Wilson that we're on board with. Hold up. Oh, that's a good save, Sean. I tell you what, the drivers, if there's one thing we're doing well tonight, that is absolutely some of these saves. They're absolutely at one with those steering wheels and accelerators and brakes, because normally losing the back of a car like that in these conditions, it is sayonara sweetheart, I believe they say.
Yeah, Ken Block would be absolutely proud of them. Yeah, they're definitely anticipating you know, where the slippy parts of the circuit is, and really doing a grand job at saving the car and keeping it in the straight line. But yeah, I mean, what can I say, John? I mean, these are really treacherous conditions for the drivers, and it's remarkable. They haven't seen more collisions, to be honest. So yeah, looking on board of a replay now, John, what's happened here?
Christian Booth, oh, the Audi's just thought he'd braked early, so he lifted a bit and then braked again, and unfortunately all he's done is made contact with the back of Booth. So it's the 2 spots in the podium. I don't usually use this camera mid-race, but you can hear those puddles absolutely splashing their way through. Everyone firmly on those wet tyres. And the pro podium battle, though, not being cooled any by the rain. 24 degrees for the track, so still quite warm for a rainy day, but not quite as warm as it was during quali. I'm trying to find the card where we can see the grooves on the wet tyres. Of course, no yellow sticker on the side of the tyres. That's how we know they are the wets. We've got a plain sidewall. definitely see, in fact, yeah, gratuitous. There we go. As you can see, there is the open air vents on the Mustang, and there is the grooves in the tyres. Yeah, I would say the rain for, oh well, actually, you know what, we're 20 minutes in. Given it's 24 degrees, if it was to suddenly say, right, we're going to stop raining in 30 minutes, it would be 10 minutes left. It could be an interesting last couple of laps. For anyone that's pitted early, that's for sure. We've got drivers improving on their times despite the conditions. De La Zeus being one of them. The pro driver finds himself behind the silver category leader. I've been waxing lyrical about the AM drivers. Florian Lacroix not only taking front 2 rows in qualifying, he's taken a position in the opening stages, and he is currently second in the overall race, with Arnaud De La Zeus still behind him after multiple laps. But he does need to keep the pace up, because Ben Sullivan, fellow Silver, joining him inside the top 5. Both Lacroix and Sullivan have success penalties. Sullivan with the larger, so we're unlikely to see a switch of positions unless Lacroix has an absolute nightmare in the pit. So at this stage, if I was Lacroix, I might actually be tempted. No, actually, that's silly. I was going to say get behind Lacroix and get pulled along, but in these conditions, let's have a look and see what De La Zeus can see at the moment. There we go. Lots of spray. Oh, he's gone for the inside of the last corner. De La Zeus in the McLaren. He's going to try and outgun the Aston in the wet, and he's going to get it done. That is a beautiful move by the pro driver. Lacroix, you can see him coming. He left him space. It takes 2 to tango, and that was a beautiful 2-step from the 2 drivers in the overall podium. De La Zeus puts himself up to second overall, while holding second in the pros. Lacroix now in third. The only thing separating Ben Sullivan and Lacroix is a whole lot of puddles, and 11 seconds at the moment. We'll see how they are after the pit stop. Barbary hanging on to third in the pros. He's got Lavoie in the wild cards behind him, and then of course Chappelle in the AMS leading their way in 7th position. Brownrick's closing in there, bringing Max Davies. Schoberg dropping a couple of positions out of Barbecue, although fighting back on the way into Sunset, gets his nose back ahead of Davies. These two fighting for top 5 honours in the pros. Yeah, Sunset not looking quite so sunny today. He's just slightly missed these brakes, and it's amazing how much it is exaggerated, Sean. You really do have to drive in the wet to understand. You can miss your brakes by a couple of yards in the dry and just about get away with it, but in the wet, no. Nope, you miss it by a yard, gone. You absolutely have to be very, very, very on point, and your braking ability exaggerates any mistakes, any kind of deficit you have in the braking.
Yes, indeed, yeah, because in the wets, of course, very easy to lock up the brakes, so you're almost kind of trail braking into the turn, and almost like using sort of half the pressure on the brake pedal. Yeah, so if you do miss your braking point, then it is pretty much disaster in these types of conditions. I've been paying a close attention to the leaderboards right now. So, of course, we was talking about Lacroix and Sullivan, who battling out for the race lead, but both of them have got the success penalties applied to their name. So a driver that I've been sort of keeping an eye on is Borovitz, currently P9 overall, P3 for silver category, who hasn't got a penalty applied to him. So he could be favourites to resume the race lead for the silvers, and Fairweather actually not too far behind as well, so could be in the mix for podium for sure, I think, John.
Yeah, definitely. While you were looking at that, I'm keeping an eye on David Grant, because he is catching up to the drivers that you were just talking about. We could easily see Grant. There's Salevic's getting out of the way. He's taking his pit stop. Pops himself out of the way. That's Declan Brogan actually not too far behind as well. Another driver that's had an absolute hop, skip and a meteoric jump up the field in the opening exchanges, and if he does make up more positions, then absolutely do not be surprised in the slightest. The Lambo, and relax. Yeah, blue flag there, just getting themselves out of the way on the outside of the corner. Grant safely making his way past. Oh no, it was fair weather. My apologies, that's not a blue flag, it's fair weather. Tumbling down the order. Now let's see what we can see on a replay. Sean, he's heading up to La Coupe, and it might be good night before he even gets there.
Yeah, I see him spin, and well, here's the replay now. Yeah, it just went a little bit wide on that slippery curve, and yeah, unfortunately not able to save it. But fair play to him, he held on to the brakes and tried to keep out of the way of the passing cars. But yeah, that's costly for Fairweather, because he was looking really good, and maybe a commentator's curse there, because I was saying that he was firmly in the mix for the podium or race lead for the silver category. But yeah, that's going to hurt his race. That is for sure, John.
Indeed it is, indeed it is, yeah. Ami Failure, good evening, welcome in. I don't understand the success penalties, why you punish fast drivers. We don't punish fast drivers, there's no success penalties in qualifying, we punish consistent drivers that win races. It keeps the championships interesting all the way down to the wire. It's one of the reasons why real life endurance racing, of course, has gentleman drivers. If you haven't seen the series about that, I absolutely assure you it's a must watch. It is incredibly fascinating. It also helps with the funding of motorsport as well. But yeah, the success penalty is a measure to keep the championships as close as possible and stop one driver running away with it, just to keep it interesting for everyone. And yeah, I think it's an absolutely incredible idea. LaCroix, he's losing a little bit of time to De La Zeus. Does he care? Not a jot. He's on the overall podium, and he's got himself first place in the silvers, and an ever-increasing gap to Ben Sullivan. 11.5 seconds that gap now sitting at, and a 10-second advantage in the pit stops as well. Anthony Chappelle in the top 10. Only 1.7 behind. Browning's catching up. In fact, Borowick as well in the silvers. He's now put himself in prime position for a potential win in the silvers with the success penalties ahead. Now, of course, Chappelle's got that 15-second penalty, but does have a decent gap back to Putman, who again has that success penalty as well. Booth, actually, then. He's another driver that is looking very good for a podium. Just needs to keep this one together. Does find himself a bit of a rarity. Drivers in the same class battling for podium positions next to one another, but the AMs keeping the dream alive once again. The closest championship so far out of the 3 divisions. That's because AM drivers are absolutely the best. Oh, that looked like someone running a little bit wide there. That was, yeah, Glenn Choi just getting caught up by Scarpass. They're having themselves a great little battle. Love to see the flames firing out the side. And that's a whole lot of puddle action there, Sean. But yeah, Putman and Booth, it's great to see as well. Again, even with the success penalty, it's still all about getting those overtakes done. And at the minute, Booth looking to eye one up. Putman will be acutely aware of that success penalty and doing, specifically because of that, doing everything he can to keep Booth behind him to at least give himself half a chance of getting himself on that podium this week.
Yeah, definitely, John. And of course, we know as well the poor visibility for the car, directly behind the car in front as well. I mean, look, it's I've seen it worse, but it's still pretty poor. And of course, you do need to be a little bit cautious when going into the braking zones as well, because it's very easy to lock up the brakes and slide into the respective car in front. So Putman certainly in a prime position to make life very difficult for Christian Booth, but safely in the knowledge that Christian Booth knows he will get the jump on him should he not make mistakes, and obviously get a clean pit stop as well. So as we look on the replay here, John, what's happening here?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just throwing this one up here. We've got Marcus Schoberg. I tell you what, it's a case of what could have been. Schoberg now up 2 positions on where he started after being 16 down. So dropped 16 places and is now up 2 in the Honda. I said it last season multiple times, it would be amazing to see Schoberg in a car that can keep up with the rest of the field in a straight line. He ditched the Porsche, he got a Honda, he's picking up podiums. He does have a 10-second penalty, of course. It's going to be a tough slog with Barbary ahead of him. But I'm absolutely not betting against Marcus Schoberg picking up a podium in every race from now till the end of the season. He is that quick and that consistent, and it's great to see he and so many other drivers here develop their way up the ranks. We do get our nice surprises at the start of the season. Our Insta Pro promotion, another time-honoured tradition here at QRT. We're seeing the drivers make their way up through the ranks, from the arms to the silvers, and indeed all the way up to the pros, and bring in race wins as well not long after those promotions. Again, another time-honoured tradition. It's like when a football team gets a new manager, you just know they're going to get a win straight away. Oh, a bit of contact here between Brownings and the double yellow car. David Grant finding himself right in the middle. Oh, and he spun! Oh, Brownings, that's not been a good start to the race, and the wild card finds himself facing completely the wrong way there. The Ferrari just absolutely lacking pace in a straight line. Look how much Grant closes up along the start-finish straight. He's got a double yellow car ahead of him. Okay, did run a bit wide, and there was a bit of contact there. Grant, as I say, he'll have PTSD coming through turn number 1, making his way. Ah, my goodness me, software, thank you very much. Oh, and Wusa, we've got Konchak still leading the way. He's taking the fastest lap as well. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised either. 1 minute 45.7, Arnaud Della Zeus. Yeah, again, another driver having a great race. He's up 4 positions. I did say I thought he was a bit low in his qualifying position. Oh no! That's a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and it is Craig Fairweather in the silvers. 6 cars have been into the pits, and we've actually got Ramirez just on his way out as well. Oh, makes it out successfully. That is the last thing you need. Again, sorry to sound like a broken down record, but in this weather, around this track, very easy to violate the track limits. And Thiago Denarchon coming in. Oh, we're 30 minutes into the race. It's the halfway mark. No, they're coming in. It's another time-honoured tradition. The race absolutely flies by.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it does look like the wet weather is going to stay for the foreseeable future. So it looks like it will just be as normal as it normally is on every given round. You know, around the 30-minute mark is when the drivers will be making their pit stops. So probably a good time for him to make his pit stop and hope that he can get a little bit of clean air to try to charge up the grid. But yeah, Thiago Denard, actually, John, so I was on LFM quite recently, and I saw his name in the top 100 drivers on LFM, which is probably no surprise to most people, but yeah, very, very fast driver, and yeah, you know. Oh, as we see Schoberg up the inside here, John.
Yeah, very nice move there by Schoberg. This is for podium positions in the pros. Schoberg, I'll tell you what, oh, and I tell you, there we go. Barbary has thrown the ball firmly into Schoberg's court for the final podium position in the pros. Barbary's come into the pits from 5th place. Schoberg then needs 25 minutes of absolute perfection. Given the pace that he's showing, though, I'm not going to be overly surprised if he does manage to steal that podium position right with 2 laps to go. Yeah, 2 laps to go. Schubert for the podium with the way the timings are going. I'm trying to do some quick math here on their previous 3 laps, and yeah, I think that was going to be close. Barbary is joined in the pits by Choi and Gibson from the pros. Osterschars has been quietly making his way through the field as well. In fact, there we go. Yeah, started well down the order, up 16 places.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that is a fair old turnaround in the BMW again. Got that 15 seconds there to serve. But yeah, we'll still be bringing home some very good points if he can keep this up until the end of the race. Pisteri ahead of him with a good start as well, 10 places under his belt. And Mike Wilson, another silver driver, up 16 spots. So the AMs are getting it done in the top 10, and the silvers are definitely getting it done overall. No one though getting it done quite as well. It's one of my absolute favourites. It is Declan Brogan in the Lambo. 20 positions he's made it up so far. Eat your heart out, Max. 19 positions for Verstappen. Amateur. Declan Brogan getting the job done in the Lambo, and no success penalty. Happy days.
Oh, I thought he went deep then, but he just about held on to it. So gets to fight to live another day. Yeah, I don't want to see any more commentators' curses because I've already dished out one, and I think you have as well, John. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are definitely looking to avoid those. That is for absolutely sure. Harry Sullivan. Yeah, again, there's so many superlative drives going on at the moment. It's very easy to seem like we're glossing over some of them as well. Although, just as we say how solid the race Sullivan is, David Gran reminds us that he's here. He's back up to 5th in the Honda. Oh, wow, what a battle we could have had up at the front of the field between Gran and Konzig. Absolutely all time, but yeah, let's not take anything away from. Let's talk more about Declan Brogan. He's out in the Lambo, and yeah, phenomenal dive. 20 positions he has made it up to get himself inside the top 10 and 4th place in the pros. So he is definitely on for a podium, given Grant's extra 20 seconds in the pits. And there is the race leader coming in. He will have an unfettered trip into the pits, given he has no success penalty. Oh, we've got another car. Oh, Sean. That is the most heartbreaking thing I've seen in a long time. Chappelle's picked up a stop go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane.
yeah, and you wouldn't think it happens, but yeah, unfortunately, sometimes, and we don't know whether or not it was that sort of dash to the pit lane and just getting a little bit caught out on the braking as you come across the pit line, or for the speed limit going into the pits. But yeah, that's 2 drivers now with the stop and go 30 seconds. But particularly heartbreaking for Chappelle, who was riding so high in the amateurs, and yeah, it's really going to cost him now.
Yeah, it really is. And he's come out of the pits, obviously, with the success ballast. He's actually come out of the pits behind Booth. So Booth right now cannot believe his luck. This is looking very solid for Booth to bring home a race win. Tricky conditions to do so, but 23 minutes left in which to work his magic. Ben Sullivan is going to have himself some laps in the lead of the race. We are 37 minutes in. Several drivers in the pits. In fact, Skapas, Brownix and Osterschars are all currently in there. De La Zeus and Konzig. De La Zeus did come in on the next lap. So De La Zeus came in, served his success penalty. He's back out. It looks like 8th at the moment. We'll get confirmation of that once they've been through a couple more sectors. Sterling and Putman making their way inside the top 10. They've still got the pit stops to take. So too Basteri and Wilson. Lacroix finds himself back out the pits in 11. A lot more to get done so far. A lot more to get done. Williams is in the pits and he's been in a while. So I think he might be retiring. Athenstad then, he's been in the pits as well. Did not have a good start to the race, ended up down at the back of the field. Carried a bit of damage. Came into the pits early, it's still running in 33rd. We'll see if there is any more places to be made. Fair weather as well, of course. Finding himself off track on a couple of occasions, down in 32nd. We'll see when he comes back out. And Chappelle absolutely tumbling down the order. Oh, Ostrachars. Oh no, yellow flag when Zeeb's coming out the pits. That is so frustrating when it does that. Dan Ramirez makes his way past. Third place he is now in the AM, so he's looking for a podium. So Hunter Angelou cheering on Dan. There we can see, yeah, he's making good progress. 26th place overall. Matt Booth, lovely weather. It is phenomenal weather for ducks and for spectating. We'll see how the drivers got on though. Konzig back up to overall third place. He is just an absolute monster. It is quite frankly ridiculous at times. Let's see what Wilson is doing. He's still going to take his pit and he is just behind Basteri. I did say we should expect a wide variety of pit stops. It seems to all been after the halfway mark. Oh, we've got some good action here, Sean. Thiago Denart and Glenn Choi battling where this is for top 10 in the pros, and in fact, just as I'm going to hand it over to you, Denart sends one up the inside the barbecue. That'll be why he's top 100.
Yeah, expect overtake, of course, from Thiago Denart, so no surprises there as he looks to charge up the grid now. But yeah, top 100. I was, you know, I did my first race the other day, and I thought I'd check out some of the top drivers to see if there was any drivers I recognised, and there was Thiago Denart. So really showing why he's such a formidable driver, and yeah, we'll be looking for better positions in this race. Currently P13 overall, but he is right now top. What is that make it, John, in the pros? Right, okay. Yeah, oh yeah, of course we have got 5 drivers still to make their pit stops in front of him, so yeah, possibly top 5 for the pros, I think.
Yeah, well, certainly, yeah, so top 5 for the pros, no problem, because he is currently at 13th, and I think there's about 7 cars ahead of him.
Yeah.
6 cars, sorry, that aren't in the pros, so, ooh, 6th place at the minute, with Lavoie. Oh, and then Schoberg ahead, and Schoberg's back in the pits in 9th place. Ironically, there's a Porsche, but Schoberg, now this one, this is where it gets fun. So Sterling's still to take his pits in 15 seconds, so he's going to come out behind these two. Schoberg on Davies. Dale and Zeus is going to go past Sterling as well. And I tell you what, Sean, Schoberg has shown, yeah, what a driver. Did so well in the Porsche last season and is absolutely killing it in the Honda. Not getting the rub of the green as far as the luck was at the start of the races, so it could almost be seen as frustrating from Schoberg's part, because given the race that he's had, if he was able to hold on to his starting position for the first couple of laps, yeah, he's absolutely in the hunt for second place here in the pros, given the pace he's shot. Just an incredible drive from Marcus so far.
Yeah, Marcus Schoberg is tasted recent success, and he definitely wants to grab a little bit more success. He definitely is Mr. Consistent, that is for sure. But yeah, as you mentioned, just a little bit unfortunate with his luck. You know, no fault of his own. It is racing, unfortunately, but he's certainly showing his true pace out there, and he's looking to. Well, he's looking for some glory out there, and certainly doing his race no harm there as he moves up into the top 6 overall, and he is smelling a podium there, I think, John.
Yeah, I think he is. I did say with a couple of laps to go, he was going to be there or thereabouts. He's got Barbary only 6 seconds up the road, and has definitely got pace over the car ahead. There's Mysteri and Wilson both in and out of the pits. I think that is. Yeah, everyone taking their pit stop. 43 minutes in. Some of them do like to leave it late, so at the moment it is. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. We've still got Sterling and Putman to take their pit stop. Yeah, Sterling and Putman actually going for exceptionally long first stints compared to the rest of the field. Glenn Choi is, well, just been overtaken there by Denard. Another drive, certainly a case of what it could have been. We're up for a bit of bad looking start. Goes past. That's not Lavoie, so that was a blue flag there, just getting a bit lively on the curbs. Choi all over the back of Denart. Good car to be following, not in these conditions with all the spray. Yeah, so Sterling still to take his pit. Putman to come into the pit as well, and he stayed out for another lap, in fact. De La Zeus has got past Barbary in 4th place. Schulberg already made up 6/10 of a second. It is Booth who is looking for the AM win. And in the silvers, is it Scarpass that is leading the way? It is indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and he's just been handed a lifeline because Declan Brogan is out of the pits now in 12th position, and he's just put himself between Scarpass and his closest competitor, which is Jakob Borovic, another driver having an incredible race. Not to be forgotten though, or outdone, Sean. David Gran pops in the fastest lap of the race. Yeah, yeah, so many hard luck stories for the drivers tonight, but it's given us such impressive comebacks right throughout the field, and Gran reminding us that he took pole position, and he doesn't want us to forget that.
Yeah, 100% there, John. Yeah, he's, again, no fault of his own. It is the lottery of the weather. And unfortunately for him, yeah, it was a turn 2 incident that has hampered his race so far, but certainly showing some immense pace out there. As you said, qualified on pole position. He's got the fastest lap in the race, and looking to salvage something from this race. It probably will be a tall order for him to catch up with his nearest pro driver, which is Papaya, who is a good 8 positions in front of him, but doing his race no harm in putting in some very fast lap times, John.
Yeah, guiding that Honda absolutely phenomenally well. Thank you very much for the follow. Take it easy, Trent. Welcome to QRT. Pinned link in the chat if you want to get involved in the races. We've got an update. Jakob Borovic, his monitor fell.
Wow.
So there you go. How's that for a technical issue? Let's see, we've got big changes up the grid as Glenn Choi and Thiago Denart battle out for 8th place. Choi got himself ahead momentarily. It does look like Denart is still carrying a bit of damage. De La Zeus looking to get himself up into 2nd place, and he's going to get it done before Sterling comes into the pits. He's got a 24-second gap to Barbary, who will be looking over his shoulder, because with 13 minutes to go, Marcus Schulberg is hunting down a podium. What a comeback, what a drive this is. Started in 6th, dropped to about 30th, and is now back up to 5th overall. Sterling to take his pit, Barbary 2.5 seconds up the road. I did say with 2 laps left to go, he was going to be in the hunt for a podium, and I think I'm going to be proven to be absolutely spot on with that. Very good drive by Marcus, and yeah, it's going to be a seriously well-deserved podium if he can get the overtake done on Barbary, who is no slouch himself. So yeah, a beautiful battle brewing at the Borovic Okay, I think he was just getting out of the way to let McCutcheon and Papai past, actually, the turn one teammates. Oh, they're about to swap positions as well. No, they're not. McCutcheon and Alexis staying behind their pros in silver. Papai just ahead. Ben Sullivan's come back out of the pits. 12th place overall for Ben, which has put him in second in the silvers. So it is Chrysippos Skapas who is in the silver lead, up 11 places to take the lead in the silver category. But he's got Declan Brogan, who's looking to make it 21 as he finds himself 11th place overall. This would put him so where is he now? Sorry, he's 8th in the pros. Yes, because he's got a wild card and a silver ahead of him. Sorry, 9th in the pros. So yeah, so this will keep him 9th in the pros, but put him 10th overall. 21 place improvement. Danny McCutcheon having a solid race as well, up 10 places. Mike Wilson up 14 spots on where he started. So good drive there. It's going to see him in the top 5 for the silvers as Ed Sterling comes in. He's going to take his pit stop. Let's keep an eye on Brogan. I'm going to leave you with Declan Brogan and Scapa, Sean. I'll be back in 2 moments, okay?
Yeah, no problem, John. Yeah, so I was about to mention that Danny McCutcheon had fallen a little bit under the radar in this race. Of course, he has already recorded a race victory in this season's championship, and yeah, certainly there is a bit of a three-way battle for the overall leader in the standings, with LaCroix currently holding on to the lead of the championship so far, but with that success penalty well, he's not going to be competing, unfortunately, with the likes of McCutcheon and Ben Sullivan, and also Skapas as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see the outcome of this race in particular. But yes, we are on board with Declan Brogan, currently P10 overall, looking to chase down Skapas, who is not going to make his life easy. But yeah, certainly Declan looking rather competitive right now, all over the back bumper of Skapas as we go through this long right-hand bend, and really try to apply that pressure to the Audi driver of Skapas. But so far so good for Skapas, and Declan Brogan will be wary that a certain Ben Sullivan is only just 2 seconds behind, a place behind Declan Brogan in P11. So yeah, certainly Brogan at the moment looking rather focused, and we'll see where he can make a pass as we go through Le Coupe at turn 10 and turn 11, but certainly somebody that is still in the running and looking to grab a podium right now is Marcus Schoberg, currently holding P4 all over the back of Barbary right now, as he tries to size up an opportunity to pass the McLaren driver. As we approach turn number 2, he thought about going for a late dive down the inside. Thinks better of it, but perhaps just trying to psych out the current last step of the podium driver Barbary, and really just signal his intentions to grabbing that final podium spot, as he gets very close to the back of Barbary, going into the braking zone. I thought he went a bit sideways there, Schoberg, but he's going around the outside with the overspeed, trying to attempt the cutback. It's not going to quite work out for him in these very slidey conditions, and has dropped back slightly, but certainly Schoberg showing his intentions, and he's not going to rest on his laurels as we get through. Oh my God, and nearly slid into the back of Barbary in the braking zone for Le Coupe. Just about got the anchors in time, but that would have cost him a bit of time to Barbary. But yeah, certainly at this stage of the race, though, Showbird looking really competitive, and down the inside he goes, and there's a little bit of contact, but he makes his stick, and he's up into the podium spot. John, are you still there, or?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely loving the commentary. Yeah, I'm just happy to sit back and watch and listen to me, quite frankly, honest. But yeah, Marcus Schoberg with an absolute beautiful move there. I did say a couple of laps ago, and Marcus happy to go and get that done a little bit quicker, I'm sure. Denart almost getting a move done on Lavoy as well. We've got Brownings looking to go past Booth for positions in the top 15. Wilson and Basteri battling out for 4th and 5th in the silvers. Grant's got Borwick a fair bit up the road. If he's streaming, Harry, pop a link for his stream in the chat, please, so I can give him a follow. Where have we got? Oh, Declan Brogan gets it done. Got to be driver. Oh, yeah, I was going to say got to be driver of the day, taking 22 positions. 22 positions.
That is crazy.
That is a good drive. That is a good drive from Brogan. Gets himself up to 8th place. And 6 minutes to go. Is Glenn Choi going to find him breathing down his neck? Scarpa's down behind Brogan. He's still leading the way in the silvers, but only just, because that Aston Martin you can see occasionally peeking out from the side, that is Ben Sullivan. It was Harry that pointed them out in the chat, and I did say it would be, it's very easy in a day of drives to miss out a drive. And yeah, Ben Sullivan may have been slightly overshadowed by some of the arms in the silvers at the top of their category, but not to be outshadowed in the consistency or the race pace. He now finds himself right on, or 3/10 behind the silver race leader. I'm going to tell you what, Scarpa's just running a bit deep. We've got Brogan ahead, and this is going to go right down to the wire. Oh, the Audi, and this is the catch-22, Sean. At the minute, the Audi's going to have very little visibility, as we said. He's trying to fend off. Oh, the Aston Martin going to try and go round the outside of turn at number 1. Let's just all listen to that beautiful Aston Martin.
Wow, he makes it work, John, I think.
Yeah, he absolutely has. No think about it, Sean. That is an absolute move. We'll hopefully get to catch you here. Apologies, I was gratuitously listening to that Aston Martin engine. But you can see what I mean, the amount of spray coming up. Oh, and he's just run a bit wide through Cheetah. That's causing him a problem, and it's given the Aston Martin just a little bit more momentum, and he's held that around at the outside absolutely beautifully. And Ben Sullivan, in the closing 5 minutes of the race, takes the lead in the silvers and finds himself behind Declan Brogan. So many contenders for driver of the day today. It is absolutely, no, it's not ridiculous, it's QRT. Damien Konzig with 56 minutes under his belt finds himself with a 10-second gap. What a drive once again by Damien. It's no wonder he's won so many series here. We've got De La Zeus in second place, 11 seconds down the road. Of course, Marcus Schoberg rounding out the pro podium in the silvers, as we have just seen Ben Sullivan getting a lovely move done on the Audi, takes the lead and is getting himself a bit of a gap to Scarpas, who will be on the podium nonetheless. Oh, that one saw it, blue flag. Just, oh no, curse to the commentator. Oh, he's run deep avoiding the Ferrari. Is that Glenn Choi?
Yes, indeed, I think it is.
No, it's not. Sorry, it's Fairweather. No, it's Fairweather.
Okay.
I believe it is, yeah, and we've got, well, I tell you what, Ben Sullivan, he's not done with the overtaking so far. He's able to run down the grid. Oh, he's going for it with Declan Brogan, doesn't quite make it stick. Is he going to get the cutback though? He's got the Aston positioned absolutely beautifully. What a run he must have got out with the last corner, and heading up the hill towards Barbecue. Sullivan with his nose very much in there, does back out of it ever so slightly.
Yeah, and to be honest with Sullivan, yeah, perhaps is the wise thing to do as well, because Sullivan, if he remains in the lead of this race, it'll be back-to-back wins for the silver driver. So he has got a lot to lose. He doesn't want to be, getting tailed up into battles that perhaps isn't going to make a difference in terms of his actual season. Although, of course, being racing drivers, respectfully, we do like to have battles. Doesn't matter what category of car or what reputation that the driver would have. Yeah, Sullivan certainly, for pride's sake, looking to put one over on Declan Brogan, but good defensive work from Declan Brogan, who holds off the race winner of the silver category from last time out, Ben Sullivan, for now. But as we come into the last turn, it looks like Brogan went a little bit deep, and Sullivan initially got a very good exit, but had to back out though slightly, as Brogan did come across there to defend his line. Sullivan, though, looking to try one around the outside. I don't think it's going to quite work. He's attempting the switcheroo, but for now, looks like Declan Brogan is going to stay in front of Ben Sullivan, John.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, great battle between these two. We'll catch up, of course, the arms. What? Oh wow! Or are we going to jump down and watch the arms? It is Booth who is leading the way in the arms. He's just behind Papai in the pros. Putman finds himself in second place. Chappelle, after that cruel penalty, does still find himself on the podium in the arms. Ramirez in second place, as I mentioned. Can we get on board? Yes, there we go. Lead us on the final lap. We'll jump on there in a moment. But where is yeah, Booth, Putman and Ramirez on the podium? Yes. Where is Booth? Oh, he's up in 14th. That's right. There we go. So there's Booth there, but there is the leader on the last lap. It's not going to stop anyone trying any overtakes. Glenn Choi looking to get a position back on Tiago, or still following Tiago Denart. Denart now side by side with Lavoie. They're going to go side by side through Cheetah. He's made it up the inside of Cheetah, although the Porsche does run a bit wide. Choi follows through as well. Lavoie down 2 places, but could be down another one, because coming around the last corner, here comes the Brogan-Sullivan affair. Let's see if the Aston and the Lambo can get involved in the three-way fight that's going on ahead of them. Damien Konzig has been absolutely flawless out front, and he's had about 3 seconds of camera time the whole race. The joys of being the quick. But yeah, Konzig, another absolutely exemplary performance from Konzig for the whole race, as we can see him once again. With the blue flags, he's right on that inside line. He's only got a couple of corners left to go. He's going to win himself maximum points. He's going to win a 20-second penalty for our outing next week at Imola. We're here at Kyalami for the QRT GT3 Championship 2025 Season 1. Is the checker flag going the way once again of Sir Damien of Konzig. What a drive. Take a bow, Damien. We've got Arnaud Delazus on the podium at QRT once again. Second place for Delazus, and of course the absolute wonder drive that was Marcus Schober has made up an aggregate of about 20 positions throughout the race, and sees himself rounding out the pro podium. What a drive, Marcus. Again, good to see him out with the Porsche and into the Honda. We are going to see Ben Sullivan not far behind. They're all right on top of one another. In fact, what's going on there? That's Barbary crossing the line. Where is Sullivan gone?
Good question.
Oh, there's Sullivan there.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Sullivan had an incident on the last lap. Replay during the closing stages. Let's have a look. Oh, please tell me he's not hit that sausage curb on the last lap. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, didn't actually lose him any positions though, sorry. It looked like he tumbled down the order on my screen. Apologies.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the last time I looked, I thought Brogan was P9 and Sullivan was P10, but I don't know.
Yeah, but the results that we do have, there's Lavoy, Booth. Yeah, it's all over the place. Let me see, right, okay, tell you what, I'm just going to quickly grab the replay just in case, because it might be one of those. And we'll have a look and see what the timetables say. The arms, yeah, Booth bringing home the win. Putman in second, Ramirez in third. In the silvers, it is Sullivan does bring home the win. Scapas in second with McCutcheon in third place. And in the pros, he's in the chat with that third place. What a drive. Marcus Schober, De La Zeus in second place. And, of course, Damien all-conquering Konzig. Bringing home another race win. There is literally no superlatives left. I've been through a thesaurus multiple times, and yeah, we're running out with great things to say. Although David Grant bringing home some valuable points for fastest lap, and it does manage to secure a spot in the Pro top 10. I mean, it's one of those weeks, Sean. It is absolutely impossible to pick a driver of the day. We've got Ams in the top 10. We've got Silvers with a 20-second success penalty still winning the race. We've got pros that made up 23 positions. We've got the fastest lap going to Pole Sitter, who ended up back inside the top 10. You could just go on for days. Incredible drive by everyone involved.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, John. You know, it's a bit of a lottery when it comes to race positioning in these types of conditions. So definitely all, 30 or so drivers definitely need a pat on the back for providing such great racing action and just superb driving ability showcased for all of us tonight. Yeah, definitely big mentions to someone like Schoberg, for example, that didn't have the best of starts to races, but managed to move up so many positions and grab that podium finish for him. And of course David Grands as well. He made up so many positions, didn't he, and got the fastest lap. And Damien Konzik, of course, back on top of the pile as well. So yeah, too many superlatives to throw out there, that's for sure, John.
Yeah, another incredible night of QRT action. What did I tell you at the start? You'll be back next week. Yeah, you can still get involved as well. Pinned chat. The link is pinned in the chat, is the sentence I couldn't formulate there. So get yourself involved. You'll get the Discord link as well. Of course, we're back on on Sunday night as well. Twice a week. You absolutely love it. We'll have the highlights for you coming up as well. So do make sure you enjoy all of those, and I do mean all, because there is plenty. In fact, there we go. Yeah, but congratulations once again to everyone that made it to the end of the race, first of all. Incredible driving, incredible conditions. Thank you to QRT for these phenomenal calendars. Thanks to everyone in the chat as well. Dan Ramirez in the chat as well. Good to see the drivers in. We did have a follow as well, so thank you very much for that. I'm quickly and furiously looking through the chat, can't see if I look, but thank you, Moose, Stratos, Harry, Freelancer, Tech, Jorans, everyone that joined us for this evening's action. Sean and I will, of course, be back next week for Emma. Ciao, Bella. Emma, so make sure you join us for that. There's a pole sitter dropping down the order. Goes Bathurst and Silverstone still on the calendar as well. On a night when we see a whole lot of rain fall and Damien Konzig strengthening his grip on the championship. It is a very good night from Mr. Sean Madden.
Good night, everyone.
And it is a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.